It has been 7 years since I left university, and in that time I have had 7 interviews for different job roles, being successful on 6 of these occasions. Today I'm going to run through the steps that I take in preparing for the recruitment process and exactly what I believe has made me successful on 6 out of the 7 occasions. And in at number 1, I have to know your own roles and previous experience. Your roles and your experience that you have are the passport to you being able to interview for that position. You will need to understand exactly what the job that you're applying for consists of and how your experience that you have will enable you to perform the duties of this new position. If you are able to demonstrate that you are ready and possess the skills to step into that position, then it's going to give you a far better opportunity in obtaining and being successful in that role. And in number 2, we have achievements. When you go into the recruitment process, you need to be able to boast your achievements. Simply going into an interview and showcasing what you have done in previous roles is no longer enough. You need to be able to demonstrate the results that you achieved in that position. If I went to a job recruitment process and said that in my finance business partner role now that I work with the sales teams to construct new deals for customers and approve the financials to maximize revenue for that business, then it wouldn't mean too much. But if I went into that interview and told them that I worked collaboratively with sales to get correct pricing for a customer that enabled us to win a bid for £1 million over a 5-year period, then that shows a result and how I've contributed to that business. It will give the interviewer a sense of confidence that you will go into that role and deliver a similar level of results. Going to work isn't like going to school and college where you just turn up and you sit your exams. Business is real. You need to show that you are able to drive results. And then at number 3, we have competency examples. Usually within interviews, there are 2 parts of the interview. You will have general questions about the experience that you have, and then you will have competency-based questions. An example of a competency-based question could be, name a time that you improved the process and how you went about doing it. In order to answer this question, you will need an example of a process you have improved. And then you will need to be aware of the STAR technique in order to answer this question. Well, what was the situation? What was the task you had at hand? What was the actions you took? And what were the results that you delivered? If you can stick to that structure, then it will enable you to get the full picture and the full message over to the interviewer, and that they can understand exactly what the situation was, what the task was, how you set about achieving the result that you then later went on to achieve. The easiest way to prepare, in my opinion, for competency-based examples is to get a bank of examples down. Do not predict the question. Be prepared for a wide range of questions. Go online, have a look at examples of competency-based questions, and this will enable you to prepare your examples so that you can make them flexible depending on the question that you are asked. In at number 4, hobbies and interests. Hobbies and interests are sometimes overlooked, but in my opinion, they can separate one individual from another. Let's say you've got 2 people who have the exact same experience, skills, they have the exact same achievements, they have the exact same competency examples. Then that leaves one thing that they can compare them on, and that is your hobbies and interests. Well, what does that person do outside of their spare time? I encourage you to think of things beyond playing football, socializing with friends, spending time with family. Think about stuff that you do outside that can add value to your brand. Me, for example, I've spent the past year renovating my home. I've spent the past 2 years running this YouTube channel that now boasts 3,000 subscribers. I've built a side business on the outside of work. It shows that I'm productive, I'm motivated, I've got a level of determination, not just inside of work. And it goes a long way to show exactly what the character of that person is like. If you have one person who's able to do exactly what I've just mentioned, or you've got another person who just sits at home watching TV, well, for me, it becomes an easy choice. And then my 5th and final tip, and that is to be punctual. Do you know the dress code for that interview? Do you know the timings? And do you know the location? Interviews are becoming harder nowadays because a lot of them are done online. Well, do you know the dress code that is expected if you are doing an online interview? If you don't, then feel free to ask. It's a given. Make sure you're punctual and make sure you're on time. Make sure you know the location and you plan out your route to allow enough time for you to be on time for that interview. Being punctual is a given for any interview. And unfortunately, if you fail on that, it's going to show a lot about your personality if you were to be given that role. Don't oversee being punctual. Make it a priority. They are my 5 top tips, which I believe have helped me to be successful in 6 out of the last 7 recruitment processes that I have been a part of. If you would like to see what I get up to on a Sunday day in the life of a part-time YouTuber and fully qualified chartered management accountant, then you can do so right up here. But until the next one, goodbye.